This is Codename Vermilion reporting in from the Mr. Beast Tech Square on JJ Jack's film's SS Sniper Wolf bingo card. So far I've avoided detection, but I have a bad feeling that a rubber stamp is about to end my... Reaction content! It's a hot button issue on the platform right now, especially with a rising wave of criticism against the genre. Some say it's lazy or outright content theft. Others defend it by pointing out numerous examples of creators adding to the content they're reacting to with their insights and commentary. So as someone who has an extensive back catalog of 5 videos on his channel, none of which are reaction videos, why am I bringing this up? And when will my mainline content return from the war? Not too long ago, I released my review of Tower Fantasy, titled The Worst Game I Can't Stop Playing. Given that Tower Fantasy has a much smaller player base compared to the juggernauts that are Hoyoverse games, I wasn't expecting my review to do nearly as well as it did. Shortly after I published it, it gained traction that made becoming my #1 viewed video only a matter of time. However, the surprises didn't end there. Right as it eclipsed my previously most viewed video, out of the blue it got featured on Asmongold's channel, something I wouldn't have anticipated even if my channel were 20 times the size it is currently. And so, long before I was prepared for it, I had become a part of the reaction content ecosystem. Now, I do want to preface this with saying that I have nothing against Asmongold reacting to my video. I figured that as my channel grows, reaction videos to my content would happen at some point. It happens to creators of all sizes. One prominent example I can think of is how Abroad in Japan had so many people react to his video that it got featured in an article on the Japan Times. I've had a few people close to me ask how I feel about the entire situation, and I think that there are some things worth discussing. And what better format to do it in than a reaction video?
The worst game I can't stop playing. 447 hours on record. Not recommended. Uh-oh.
Tower Fantasy is a gambling simulator with a video game attached to it. In this...
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
I'm very happy that I managed to get a visible reaction out of Asmongold so early on in the video. Sometimes I'm not sure if any of my jokes will land, but this helps me stave off the anxiety that I'm not funny. This online role-playing game is also quite possibly massively multiplayer. Not like I would know, because the last time there were more than 10 players in one spot, the servers died.
Really? Does this happen? I never had that happen.
Okay, admittedly this is hyperbole for the sake of the joke, but when you're unable to do any attacks, swap weapons, use skills, or even pull up world chat, the server may as well be dead. So while I never experienced the server straight up crashing, functionally speaking, it died. At least, that's how I view it anyhow.
Oh yeah, like Genshin Impact was the, that was the game that really got gacha to be popular in the West, I think. Genshin Impact was like the Trojan horse. It came in there and people finally started playing. It was the gateway drug. Yes, it was the Trojan horse.
Yeah, this is fairly accurate. Stuff like Fate Grand Order might have been big in the anime community and such before Genshin, but Genshin was the one that broke gacha out into mainstream Western culture. In case anybody was wondering, Genshin actually wasn't my first gacha game. That dishonor goes to Brave Frontier. I used to play it because I could auto-battle on my iPod Touch 4 while I was in class at high school. I loved it because if a teacher ever got suspicious that I wasn't paying attention, I could just lock the screen with no consequences to gameplay. I touched on this during my Genshin review, but literally the only reason why I even entertained the idea of trying out Genshin was because of the pity system. I had already experienced what a gacha game was like without it, and I am not doing it again. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this is...
Normal people. Gacha games are designed to psychologically manipulate people into spending as much money possible. Gacha games are bad and therefore should not be recommended. Gacha apologists. Well, it's no different from Wu-Bang. Nobody's wanting to spend money and we're not free to play, so it's fine. Oh my god.
You know, it absolutely boggles me just how much copium gacha apologists will huff and then comment things like, gacha games aren't predatory. That is 100% factually incorrect. Most things in critique of media are subjective, But this isn't one of them. You cannot convince me that a game that is built using practices founded in actual psychological studies in order to manipulate the player into spending as much money as they are capable of aren't predatory. That's like saying casinos not having windows and making their layout purposefully confusing is an aesthetic choice rather than a harmful tactic designed to get you to spend as much time and money there as possible. Just because the gacha is worse in other games, or another game has even more dark patterns baked into its UI, doesn't make a gacha game not predatory.
That's what the game is built around. The entire existence of the game, it's like a funnel to spending money.
I'm skipping a bit ahead here, but Asmongold basically sums up the fundamental problem with gacha games right here. I don't want anyone to think that I'm under the delusion that this isn't the case. I may play it as a joke, but I don't throw around phrases like gacha games are my personal vice without sincerity.
Emeru and Tectone got sponsored. You know what? I think Mizkif got sponsored to play Tower of Fantasy. I'm so mad. I played this game for real. I didn't get sponsored. Seer got sponsored. Are you f***ing kidding me? Seer? Soda got sponsored. This is f***ing ridiculous. Everybody got sponsored except me. And I was the only person that actually played it. I played it for free. No, I didn't play it for free. I spent like $2,000 on the game. That's the worst part. I paid for them to play the game.
Well, I guess that's one thing we have in common.
It wouldn't surprise.
The character creator was okay, but I was disappointed at the amount of hair options for male characters. The hairstyle, customization is great for girls.
Admittedly, this was an oversight of mine. I didn't really bother to check if the male character customization was good, which is ironic given that I advocated for playing as Aether in Genshin Impact.
The desert itself, while nothing terribly special on its own, is a noticeable step up in quality from the starter region of Hesperia.
I think even the starter region looked nice. Like, the game looked fine. I mean, does it look as vibrant and good as Genshin? No. But I'd say it's a solid 8. Solid 8, maybe 8.59. It's pretty nice.
This is largely a subjective thing, but graphically I do agree that Hesperia looks fine. I think my main issue with it is the art direction. Hesperia in general doesn't really have anything that makes it stand out. It's your run-of-the-mill sci-fi post-apocalypse. The only area that stands out to me is the northern snow area. But you don't really do enough there to justify how big and spread out it is.
Entire city crammed full of minigames and virtual attractions. It's even got a functioning nightclub. What is the dog doing? The first part of the city is...
like, I think that's really cool. Like, this is awesome.
In retrospect, I genuinely think that Inars and Vera are peak Tower Fantasy for me. Domain 9 is cool and looks pretty and all that, but it's just China in space! Areas like the Confounding Abyss actually felt like there was a degree of mystery and discovery when exploring it. While in Domain 9, I'm just going around like, oh hey, it's a pagoda. Oh, and that's the Great Wall of China, even though it doesn't make sense for them to build it here. Oh, and I guess that's a thing in China too. Do you get what I mean?
The game's tutorial gives you a jetpack, which is basically the paraglider, but you can use it to boost upward.
Yeah, I quit the game whenever this area came out. This one here. Actually, I think it was one area after this, and then I quit.
Yeah, he's probably talking about the artificial island. Man, that was such a nothing burger of an update. I got really excited for the player housing system, and then it just turned out to be a bunch of static Farmville-esque buildings with no customization whatsoever. If I hadn't seen the footage of Meroria on the Tower Fantasy subreddit, I probably would have dropped the game then as well.
I also think, like, so if you do a perfect dodge, you, like, stop time in, like, where you're at. I actually think that's really cool.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot to mention Fantasia as a mechanic because it feels like these days I either kill stuff before an opportunity to trigger it comes up, or they're just straight up immune to it. I also do so much self-healing as a Volt main that I basically stopped dodging and face tank everything like a brain-dead moron.
Once you simp enough for them using gift items, they'll start DMing you. These messages are put in the same...
Oh, bro, I forgot all about this shit, man. Oh my god, I forgot about this.
Nah, this really happens.
section were
It's real.
DMs from
Funny thing, I almost didn't put this segment in the video. As I've started playing more gacha games for this channel, I've become completely desensitized to this game mechanic and was starting to question if me finding it weird was out of the ordinary. Like, I expect stuff like this to be in dating sims, but not action RPGs or MMOs. I'm glad to know that I had a normal reaction to the situation. Based on the other stuff Asmongold said in his stream, I can tell that he really did play Tower of Fantasy and didn't just hop on for a couple of days and then never play it again. Now for the real question. Did Asmongold's reaction video give my channel a boost? The short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, but not really. Now, as a disclaimer, it's only been a little over 24 hours since the reaction video was uploaded to Asmongold's channel, so it's possible that I'm not yet seeing the full benefit of the boost. As you can see here, generally before the reaction video, all of my stats were trending downward, which is fairly normal for a small channel that has gone a long time without any new uploads. Case in point, they bump back up briefly when I uploaded the Gundam review, and then fall back as the content finishes running its course in the algorithm. And then right here is when the Asmongold video happened. There's a noticeable rise, and in fairness, the farthest data point is incomplete because that's the stats for the day I'm recording this, which hasn't finished yet. If we compare view counts, it increases from 896 to 2,962. So if we assume all the extra views are due to Asmongold directing traffic towards the original video, that's around 2,100 or so extra views. The biggest boost seems to be in new subscribers, which increased from 7 the day before to 221 the day the reaction video dropped. Not unsubstantial, but to put this in a broader context, Asmongold TV, the channel that the video got uploaded on, currently has over 2 million subscribers, with the reaction video gaining around 250,000 views in the first day or so. This means that of the people who watched the reaction video, only 0.8% of them went and watched the original, and 1% of those people subscribed to my channel. So if you're wondering if exposure like this is a golden ticket to stardom, I hate to break it to you, but that's not how it works. Even though Asmon did play my video in full on both his Twitch channel and in the VOD, the reaction video is nearly double the length of the original, which doesn't happen if you pull an XQC chair moment. While I personally think that the VOD could have been cut down to focus more on Asmongold's commentary, I do think it's sufficiently transformative and overall a net positive for me as a creator. To be honest, the most valuable part of Asmongold's reaction video for me personally was watching the chat replay and comments on the VOD, as it gives me information on audience perception outside of my normal viewer base. In general, I was able to glean some insights that I hope to use to improve my videos going forward. I'm reminded of a recent video by Lucy Pyre, another VTuber who Asmongold has reacted to multiple times, where she points out that a large part of the people who watch content creators like Asmon are there for Asmongold and not necessarily the subject matter of the original video.
They're clicking for Asmon because he's their guy. He's their little boy, their little baldy man.
While it is a little frustrating to see the reaction get over triple the views in a fraction of the time, I'd wager that a large number of those are from people who have little overlap with my normal audience. So before this video turns into me reacting to Lucy Pyre out of the blue, let's return back to this specific situation, because Asmongold isn't the only one who reacted to my video.
Finally, Asmon reacting to an actual top player.
Now, you may be asking why I'm allowing this video to degenerate into an absurd visual mess. The reason is because it's funny. For those of you who aren't familiar with Gateoo, he's basically the top Tower of Fantasy content creator. Now, if a week ago you had asked me of these two people who would be more likely to react to my video, I would have by far chosen Gateoo. Gosh, I hope I'm not butchering his name. Hey, if you're watching this, sorry I'm getting your name wrong. It's nothing personal. I'm just stupid.
No. That's it. Oh, shit. You gotta get all those?
He needs to zoom out, man. He should have zoomed out.
Get to work.
Yeah, that's fair. I was mainly worried that zooming out too much would make it hard to get a sense of just how awful the situation is. You may have noticed that this section of the video is really short compared to the last one. That's because unfortunately, Gateoo didn't really say much else of substance.
This is basically never followed up on, nor does it really seem to be...
Skip.
There we go. Thank you.
Skipped.
Yeah.
Skip. This video is so good.
While I am glad that he enjoyed my video, his reaction was pretty close to content leeching rather than being transformative.
Why are we watching? Because Asmon's watching it.
One thing that's different with this is that you can.
This is
buy
free content.
things.
You see what I mean? Part of this is because he chose to react to Asmongold's reaction as it happened live, rather than waiting for the VOD so he could pause it and add his comments. It also didn't help that this happened 7 hours into an 8-hour stream, so you can tell that he's kinda zonked out at this point.
Wait.
Gotcha game is, imagine a casino.
What the
The only prizes are...
My BR cube popped. Time to play BR.
While I personally don't have a huge amount of room to judge given that I still haven't done any live streams myself, I personally think he should have waited and then reacted to the VOD when he was able to give it his undivided attention. Now, I'm not gonna do a DMCA takedown of Gateoo's VOD or anything, seeing as it only has about 2,000 views, and I'd like to think that many of the people watching that stream had already seen the original video. All in all, it's been a strange experience being pulled into a microcosm of one of the currently hotly contended aspects of online content creation. A situation that I have mixed feelings on, but I'm overall happy with. Sorry for the hand tracking jump scare this video. I'm currently partway through upgrading my setup, which is probably why the audio for this video will sound super scuffed. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to get subscribed so you don't miss out on future content. This has been Codename Vermilion, end of report.
Simba!